Choosing the right email marketing provider is one of the most important decisions that you can make for your service business. And in this video, I'm going to share with you a checklist of at least 4, if not 5 things that you need to bear in mind when you're considering if you should be changing email marketing service provider. In today's video, I'm going to reflect on a question that I was asked yesterday by a lady who was having some challenges with her email marketing service provider. In this instance, it was ActiveCampaign, which is a great product, but she had questions about how she was using it. And it got me thinking about the hundreds of email marketing providers that are out there. Do business owners have a place where they can refer to that gives them a checklist of the kind of things that are important when considering what they should be using and perhaps if they should be changing? And this list has 4 minimums in there, and there's a 5th one in there that's a great nice to have for time saving for businesses. So let's get into the list. So the most fundamental thing that your email marketing service needs to be able to do is to be able to categorize the contacts that you have in your database by different tags, or some people call them lists or labels, based on what that contact means to you, what they're interested in, that kind of thing. So being able to categorize people based on whether they're a lead, a active prospect, a active client or past client, or somebody, or a supplier, referring partner, that kind of thing. You need to be able to segment your list, your contacts, into those different groupings. That's important because different people at different stages and different interests will want to hear different messages. And if you send the same common message to everybody, that's not going to land particularly well. So the first fundamental thing is that you're able to tag, list or label your contacts in the marketing service. The most common marketing service is MailChimp. That has certain restrictions about how you're able to do that. So if you're a MailChimp user, give some thought as to whether you're able to fully segment your list according to those criteria that I've just outlined. So when you've got your list segmented by tags or labels or lists, you also need to be able to, and this is a fundamental thing, be able to send email broadcasts, or also known as email campaigns. These are the one-off emails to specific people on your list. Some people call them newsletters. As you might have seen on this other video, I don't like the term newsletter. People don't want to hear your news. They want to hear how you've helped others solve common problems like theirs. But yeah, be able to send to specific people in an email broadcast or email campaign. So moving on a step from that, the third criteria for your checklist is being able to send what I would describe as micro automations. So in response to a specific event that somebody has engaged you with, it might be booking a meeting with you, it might be asking a question on a contact form that you're able to segment into different criteria. It might be that they have contacted you via a customer support, or they've become a new client or something like that, and you want to acknowledge what they have done in that event with a micro automation. And your email marketing provider needs to be able to do that, be able to trigger as many of those different micro automations as you want to set up. Then if we take a step on from that, the 4th thing that your marketing service provider needs to be able to do for you is what many people call autoresponders. That's what they were originally called in the industry, now more commonly known as marketing automations, where somebody has perhaps opted in for an ebook, a lead magnet, or a piece of online training that you offer, where you can provide them with a sequenced set of emails that are going out in a set time frame from that first activity, that first opt-in. So marketing automations are a real fundamental thing for service-based businesses who are time-starved to be able to follow up with your audience on what they've specifically requested. It keeps that engagement going until such a point in time where they're ready to do something else. Now, here's the important thing with those autoresponders. There are certain services that when you put somebody in a marketing automation or an autoresponder, they have to be in there until that series finishes. Now, business doesn't work like that, does it? What your service needs to be able to do is be able to move somebody out of that marketing automation based on something that happens, an action, a trigger, something that completes that sequence. So for example, if it's a marketing automation from an opt-in where your call to action throughout that automation is to get somebody to book a call with you, once they have booked that call, it becomes irrelevant to have that call to action in those autoresponders going forward. So your email marketing service needs to be able to pull people out when something else happens. So finally, the fifth thing, and this is kind of a nice to have, a nice bonus of your email marketing service, or perhaps it's integrated with your CRM. A really nice feature of certain services is that they're able to allow you to send one-off emails to one specific contact based on a template, but before that email goes out, so you're sending it from the contact record. Before that email goes out, you're able to top and tail or tweak or change what's in that text. But because you're doing it from a template, a lot of the work is taken out of your hands to do that manually each time. It also saves you many hours per week of effort to create those emails from scratch. So that's the fifth and final part of our checklist. Really nice to have, quite rare in email service providers, but for service-based businesses, that's a massive, massive time saver. So if you take this list of these 4 or perhaps 5 criteria that you should be assessing your email marketing service provider against, or perhaps a future one, it gives you a nice solid checklist of the kind of things that you probably need for your service business. If you're already using the right service based on this criteria, then that's great. Just set aside the time to go and set up and implement some of the ideas that are in this checklist. If you need additional help, I'd really recommend that you consult a strategist or an implementer to help you get it set up, because any time that you spend setting it up or getting these things in place will save you hours in the future. Wherever you're watching this video, if you'd like to get this checklist in a written form, if you go to askgareth.com, should you switch, then there's a written version of this and a downloadable version of the checklist for you to assess your email service provider again. Hope that's really useful to you. If it is, give it a like or a share or a comment. And I look forward to helping you with another video on another occasion.